Everyone's holdings, from your bank account to your brokerage account to your cryptocurrency account, almost everything consists of digits. It's numbers in the ether. You visit the bank, if everyone heads to the bank simultaneously and demands, "Give us our money," you won't receive it. It's not all there. Actually, they are severely undercapitalized. They have almost nothing in terms of reserves. Coinbase, as an illustration, the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the United States, if they declare insolvency, and they genuinely mention the word insolvency, if they declare insolvency, those who have credits held on the exchange will most likely lose all of them. Thus, everything that we're discussing, whether it's undercapitalization in banks, whether it's that the stocks that you believe you own are digits on a screen because you no longer hold the certificates, nobody holds bearer bonds anymore, no one holds anything. So when you discuss tangible metal, these are concrete items that you possess free from counterparty risk. And I think that is the distinction here. Wealth is digits on a screen in the ether. And possessing physical metal with the removal of counterparty risk is truly substantial. It's crucial, it's pertinent, and I believe you can begin to observe that as circumstances start to become uncertain around us, I think it's essential to realize that when we talk about worth, if you visualize the US dollar as water inside of a bathtub and gold and silver are resting on the edge of the bathtub, they're seated on the ledge peering down at the water, and perhaps the water reaches all the way up to the top of the tub. But when you pull the plug on the tub and the water starts to descend, and that depends on how far the dollar drops. In this instance, it's not that gold and silver are gaining more value, it's that the dollar is losing worth on its journey to average out. Look at, for instance, Weimar Republic Germany, a long time ago post-World War I. But when you look back and observe that people would carry wheelbarrows filled with Reich notes to buy a loaf of bread, and they'd return outside after verifying if there was bread available only to find the currency laying on the ground, but the wheelbarrow had been stolen. The point is that it hinges on how far the dollar eventually declines. What gold and silver represent and have symbolized for 5,000 years is unchanging wealth. And in times of uncertainty and speculation, I think it's never been more crucial to possess gold and silver because frankly, I believe the days of the dollar as the global reserve currency, as the singular global reserve currency, are drawing to a close. When you witness Saudi Arabia trading their oil to China for yuan, when you see Nigeria trading their oil to China for yuan, when you see Russia selling their weaponry to India for rupee and their oil, gas, and coal to China for yuan, when you witness this type of dialogue, when you observe the use of the dollar being weaponized, expelling Russia from SWIFT, when you witness the repercussions of the dollar being ousted as the sole petrodollar settlement currency for energy and oil, it's the start of the finale for the dollar. Do you perceive how we're marginally shifting away from the dollar and its dominance as the exclusive world reserve currency, as the petrodollar? And when that moment arrives, when OPEC announces, you know what, we're being shielded by Russia and China, we've concluded that it's in our best interest, in the world's best interest, that we broaden oil payments to alternative currencies. When that happens, bang, just like that, when those dollars start pouring back, they will incite hyperinflation in this nation. If you think inflation is severe now, watch what transpires when the majority of the world discards dollars, and it completely loses all its value. When that occurs, interest rates skyrocket, and stocks, bonds, and real estate plummet concurrently. Stocks, bonds, real estate, and the dollar all crash, and it's all in the hands of the Saudis. If the Saudis say, you know what, we're taking a different direction, and OPEC is going to offer oil and other currencies, it's curtains for the US dollar. And that's when an ounce of silver becomes genuinely significant because the dollar is crumbling along with all fiat currencies. The finest mare in the slaughterhouse has never been more important to possess alternatives to what I believe is a failing Keynesian system, a fiat system without support. And I genuinely believe the era of the dollar as the singular world reserve currency is drawing to a close. I believe gold and silver are wealth. You don't want to introduce speculation. All I can tell you is that when currency becomes undesirable, when nobody wants it anymore, when the world is rejecting it, owning physical precious metals will hold much greater significance. It's not about becoming affluent, it is wealth. And in times of profound dollar uncertainty and instability, and geopolitical instability, I don't think it's ever been more crucial, ever. Truly don't. I've always strived, at least in terms of dollars, to go 50-50. I believe silver offers much better value currently. And with the gold to silver ratio of 82 or 3-to-1, the potential to amass silver and exchange it for gold when that ratio rectifies, which it will, it's averaged 42 to 1 for nearly the past 200 years. And it's extracted from the ground at 7 to 1. But it's priced at 83 to 1. It's undervalued by 12 times from what it should be based on its geological footprint. So right now, I would allocate more towards silver with the intent to switch to gold. And many people don't concur with me on this. I mean, many people believe silver is ultimately the place to be. And while I genuinely appreciate silver and wouldn't be disheartened if I were left with a large quantity of silver, the fact that gold was reclassified as the world's sole other Tier 1 reserve asset indicates that gold is ultimately where you want to have the bulk of your capital. But not yet. Not until that ratio adjusts. Look, when I initially discussed this back in 2010 and presented my first podcast on account of it, the ratio was 85 to 1. It was only the second instance in human history that it had ever reached that high. I advised everyone to swap their gold for silver. Within 8 months, we had 37 to 1 with $50 silver. And we are in extraordinary territory. It's only been here a few times in 5,000 years. So the concept is, if it's extracted from the ground at 7 to 1 globally because it's found in nature in something called epithermal, which is near the surface, so the major deposits were discovered long ago. Thus, if it's being mined at 7 to 1 but priced at 83 to 1, you could argue it's undervalued by 12 times. So when do you act? I don't know. I don't think you want to wait until it reaches its geological ratio of 7 to 1. But whenever it nears its 200-year average of 42 to 1, that's a twofold increase right there. So in other words, if you had an ounce of gold, and theoretically, you receive 83 ounces of silver for that 1 ounce of gold, well, when it gets to 41.5, you double what you began with. I ultimately believe gold is the place to be, but silver is the means to acquire much more gold. Silver can make you wealthy if you possess enough of it. The only issue this time around is that becoming wealthy in silver may arise as the dollar escalates.